John, coming into the most important time of the year for Hong Kong with the international weekend of racing, and as usual you go into the few days of racing with a very strong hand. Military Attack, your leading light.
Yes, he is, and so far so good. The first one was very impressive considering he had a pretty tough sort of task. The next one he drew a wide gate, we used him for speed, and we know they ran a 2 minute for that distance, and that having to use him early and ask him to do it in the last quarter would have been quite a task had he got up and won. But all in all, his runs, as I said, have been impressive from a trainer's point of view. His work leading into, well, so far has been right up to what I've wanted, and I feel that I'll have him absolutely peaking on the day.
How are you assessing his likely rivals at this point?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't really looked at the field in any depth, and including speed and that sort of thing. What I'll do is I'll put more concentration towards his workload leading up to the 8th and make sure that, as I said, we've got him absolutely peaking on the day. And then a few days prior we'll have a close look, we'll make some inquiries from those those people who are in the know and know about the horses from overseas, the competitors. And but I'm going into the race with very, very high hopes. I believe I can have him peaking on the day, and I believe he's the one to beat.
He really defined himself as a world-class horse when he won so well in Singapore, didn't he?
Definitely. It did surprise me. I was absolutely flabbergasted at the margin. Against some very smart horses, and of course some of those horses that he did beat were at inappropriate distance on the night itself. But it was very impressive. And I think even Zach Burton was taken back by the way he won. But he'd done very well. He just proves that he can travel, and after this, everything going right, I look forward to Dubai, the World Cup.
And that's where you've taken horses before, quite often to Dubai, but this horse could be the one to give you, like you did in Singapore, your first Group 1 outside of Hong Kong?
Exactly. We've had seconds and thirds in the big races, but never competed in the World Cup, as you know. But I think this horse would handle the Peter with no problems at all. And as we all know, and as what you've said, we think we've got the right horse to do the job.
Back to his run last start, you mentioned that you were quite happy with that performance?
Yes, well, it was. I think I made a mistake in the sense that I said to Zach, well, we both swapped info and we both came up with the same tactic, that we'd use him early and get across. But he had to do a lot of work early, and as I said to Zach, it's not really in keeping with the way European horses are trained and focused, having to use them early and whatever, especially the pace they went early in that race, that 2,000 metre race, the trial, wasn't that suitable in my opinion. And I had regrets after it, and I said it to Zach, we should have gone back with Akeem McPhee. The way the speed was up front, it would have suited him to probably be running second last, and he probably would have won the race, but we'll never know that. But it was a learning curve for me. I'm just going to tell everybody out there, I won't be using him for speed in the 2000 if you do draw a bad gate. We'll be looking to get in somewhere, and if he does come back to the last few, fingers crossed that the pace is on early, that horses, that take rear positions, will be able to close up.
Best to make those mistakes in the lead up to these big races than in them.
Exactly. I don't want to make the same mistake twice. If he got beat on his merits and the pace wasn't there, then I wouldn't have any qualms about that. But as I'm going to be telling Zach on the day, we draw a bad gate, we're going to come back and get in where we can, and hopefully there's a pacemaker in there or a horse that can show good early speed that can spread them a bit, and we'll be fine. But using him early, I think, is one way to get him, that he won't run at his best.